Life Reimagined: The Science, Art, and Opportunity of Midlife by Barbara Bradley Hagerty. Myths of Midlife. The 40s, 50s, and 60s are the least understood and, in some ways, the most critical phase of life. Researchers largely ignore the middle years. Science doesn't fully understand people's 40s, 50s, and 60s. In the 1970s, the midlife crisis, which Gail Sheehy codified in Passages, became a common stereotype. Researchers now find that the crisis is a myth. Instead, midlife is a time of revitalization, exhilarating change and purpose. If you want a healthy glow and a happy midlife, here's a secret. Give it away. Your time, your money, whatever is at your disposal, give it to someone else. As life expectancy lengthens, people in midlife expect to live decades longer. The steps you take during these years will affect your health and well-being in the future. Embrace 3 ideas. Engage with verve. Embrace what's important and meaningful, whether that's family, career, self-improvement, or community. Choose purpose over happiness. Seeking happiness through short-term pursuits is less satisfying than working at long-term goals that give your life meaning. Your thinking is your experience. Your attitude towards success or adversity plays a large part in your happiness. Your thoughts affect experience. A meaningful middle. Brandeis University psychology professor Margie Lackman describes the typical midlife change as a checkup, rather than a crisis. When Hagerty asked NPR listeners to send in stories about their midlife experiences, an overwhelming percentage of the responses were positive. Even those who experienced loss or illness described their middle years as golden, or the prime of life. Cherishing the good moments and riding out the bad are worthwhile pursuits. The happiness dip. Economics professor Andrew Oswald found that happiness dips at midlife. Studies confirm his findings. Oswald theorizes that people at midlife realize they haven't achieved their goals, and suffer for it. Most reconcile themselves to what they have accomplished and eventually bounce back. For them, meaning trumps pleasure. Midlife has gotten a bum rap. It has suffered guilt by association, linked inextricably to the C word, crisis. An external event like the economic crash of 2008 can be a monumental setback for those in midlife. The people who are best equipped to navigate such obstacles are those with the advantage of having love in their lives. In the Longevity Project, authors Howard Friedman and Leslie Martin report that positive relationships contribute more to longevity than any other factor. You have the power to change course at any time in your life. The choices you make in midlife, based on your life experiences, steer you toward a more meaningful second and third act. Life presents you with many opportunities to change, evolve, and find love. The Shrinking Brain. In 2013, all the finalists in the USA Memory Championship were younger than 36. Younger brains process information faster than older brains and use fewer regions of the brain. Most neuroscientists believe intelligence falls into 2 categories. People's genes determine their fluid intelligence, the innate ability to figure things out or solve problems. Crystallized intelligence comes from knowledge and experience. Swiss researchers Suzanne Jeggi and Martin Bushkohl theorized that fluid intelligence is not predetermined and that brain exercises increase it. The midlife crisis had made its grand cultural debut, and would come to define the psyche of an entire generation. Aging brains do show some wear and tear, and parts of the brain shrink as much as 25% as you age. Another common problem is mind wandering. You enter a room to get something, only to forget what you sought. Hearing loss, even mild, affects people's cognitive abilities. Aging brains compensate for this decline by using more regions and pathways, and by relying more heavily on experience and knowledge. And some cognitive abilities improve in midlife, including inductive reasoning, spatial orientation, and verbal memory. Adding to cognitive reserves and fortifying neural defenses both shore up mental acuity. Participating in activities that improve memory, reading, socializing, walking, playing music, writing, and learning new things, keeps brains humming. People can continue to learn new skills, sharpen their memory, and grow brain cells throughout their entire lives. Friendship. Humans are social, dependent beings. Friendships that weather the storms of youth into midlife become a lifeline during hard times and a source of continual joy. Harvard researchers found that people with strong social networks outlived their lonelier counterparts, even lonely people with healthy lifestyles. A 10-year Australian study of 1,500 older people found that participants with many friends outlived loners by 22%. Feeling lonely has a greater negative effect on your well-being than smoking 15 cigarettes a day. A study by psychologist James Cohn at the University of Virginia showed that people react to threats differently when holding the hand of a trusted partner. The role of people in their second half of life is not to build up for themselves family, career, home, but to begin to give away their time, energy, and talents. Supportive friendships lower your blood pressure, decrease inflammation levels, strengthen your immune system, and reduce stress hormones. Friendships boost psychological health, including preventing memory loss. Bad relationships undo these positive health benefits. Unfortunately, midlife friendships often become a casualty in the battle for time and attention. Hagerty experienced this in her own circle of friends. The group's members supported each other through good times and bad for more than 15 years. Eventually, their bonds began to weaken until the group collapsed. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar found that most humans have an inner circle of around 5 friends, an extended circle of 15 people on average, and acquaintances in circles from 50 and up. Maintaining close friendships is, he explains, all about time investment. The magic bullet. Escapees are the 1/3 of people whose autopsies reveal physical evidence of Alzheimer's, but who showed no symptoms during their lifetimes. David Bennett, director of the Alzheimer's Disease Center at Rush University, followed more than 3,000 subjects for decades to identify the attitudes and personality traits that thwarted the onset of dementia or Alzheimer's. Participants who scored high on conscientiousness lowered their risk of developing symptoms by 89%. The magic bullet to prevent the onset of these diseases is purpose in life. While education, physical activity, and a healthy diet have a positive affect, an engaged attitude toward life trumps them all. You need a reason to get out of bed in the morning, whether you are 35, 55, or 85 years old. When relationships are functioning well, your spouse takes a problem away. If the relationship is not functioning well, this adds an additional problem. University of Wisconsin psychology professor Carol Riff and her colleagues studied research on 7,000 subjects to identify the internal resources that enable people to stay healthy in the face of adversity. They listed 6 traits: affirming relationships, an environment in which you can thrive and succeed, understanding and accepting your strengths and weaknesses, enough self-assurance to follow your personal destiny, a learning mindset, and a sense of purpose and meaning. Aging into divorce. Bowling Green State University researcher Susan Brown coined the term, the gray divorce revolution, to describe the 1/4 of married people who divorce when they are older than 50. Unlike the emotional turbulence that rocks marriages in the first 7 years, longer marriages fizzle out due to emotional disconnection. When spouses no longer find a marriage fulfilling, and the prospect of decades more in an unhappy relationship looms, they find that divorce is an acceptable option. The marriages that beat the odds and escape the gray divorce revolution have been sculpted with intentional hands. Some of the reasons for the rising gray divorce rate are personality clashes and differences, varying conflict resolution styles, financial independence for women, and unrealistically high expectations. To avoid this fate, Hagerty and her husband followed the advice of psychologist Arthur Aaron to keep their marriage exciting and romantic. They took an RV vacation to infuse novelty into their relationship. Aaron found that couples who broke their routines in order to do something different became happier in their marriage. You need to find that magic combination, a hobby that stretches your brain and gives you something to look forward to each day or week. What holds a marriage together for the long haul? Northwestern University professor Eli Finkel found that educated couples with higher economic wherewithal are more likely to stay together. The ability to hire nannies and babysitters during the child-raising years and to go on vacations helps stabilize marriage. Advice from relationship experts for getting a midlife marriage back on track includes being adaptable and positive, making your home a haven, and avoiding complacency. Marriage requires engagement, commitment, and an ongoing emotional investment. Music and language. University of Pittsburgh researcher Kirk Erickson conducted cognitive research into brain training. To his surprise, he found that exercise is the best thing you can do for your brain. The positive mental effects include the preservation of brain tissue and an increase in the size of the prefrontal cortex and the hippocampi. Exercise, such as walking energetically for 45 minutes 3 times a week, retards brain aging more effectively than any pharmaceutical treatment. It's never too late in life to enjoy the benefits of exercise. People in midlife can also turn to music to improve memory and dexterity, sometimes while also satisfying a lifelong ambition to play an instrument. Learning a new language is another way to create fresh neural pathways, build cognitive reserve, slow brain aging, and improve working memory. Any new hobby that you find both challenging and rewarding is good for your brain. Stress. Social psychologist Roxanne Cohen-Silver found that a charmed life can come at a high price. Dealing with stressful events, setbacks, and challenges can strengthen your ability to persevere. Midlife is a common time for such events. Illness, divorce, job loss, and financial worries lurk around every corner. Hagerty experienced this personally when she hit a pothole while riding her bike and broke her collarbone. She tried to put what she'd learned about resilience to the test. Psychology professor Karen Ravitch teaches soldiers how to handle calamitous events. She advises: describe what happened. Picture the worst possible result. Create a scenario of the best thing that might happen. Recognize what most probably will occur. Then, develop a plan to deal with that probability. Hagerty put this method to the test, expunged catastrophic thinking, and replaced it with purposeful action. 8 weeks later, she was back on her bike. Meaningful work and generativity. Famous psychologist Erik Erikson writes that the 7th stage of life development is generativity, when you stop focusing on accumulating and begin to give back. Failing to do so, warns Erikson, means a life of increasing isolation, resentment, and mental decline. Midlife generativity is an opportunity to apply your unique set of life skills and experiences for the greater good. Generally speaking, people naturally feel empathy and behave altruistically, so generativity aligns with inborn inclinations. Volunteering reduces stress and chronic pain, boosts the immune system, and acts as an antidote to burnout. Your priorities and interests evolve as you reach midlife. One day you realize you lack the energy or inclination to pursue a job or activities you previously found fulfilling. At that point, the time has come to re-evaluate your passions and talents to see if another path beckons. For some people, this means a new career direction. For others, it involves small adjustments. Many people in midlife overcome their fear of change and the unknown to reinvent and renew themselves. If your friendships outlive the innocent days of your 20s and 30s, you will experience birth and death, love and betrayal, accomplishments and failure. Choose where to invest your energy, and do so intentionally, because the clearest path to a robust midlife is purposeful engagement. When contemplating a career change in midlife, you should ask: in what direction are your skills and passions leading you? What are you really afraid of? How do you want to spend your remaining decades? Takeaways. The widely accepted notion of a midlife crisis is not supported by research. Midlife is a time of revitalization, change, and a renewed sense of purpose. Positive relationships contribute more to longevity than genes or any personal trait. Midlife choices, informed by life experiences, steer you toward a more meaningful second and third act. Although aging brains show decline, they compensate by using more regions of the brain and by relying heavily on experience and knowledge. Friendships are essential for a long, healthy life. To prevent the onset of Alzheimer's and dementia is purpose in life. Avoid gray divorce by being adaptable, making your home a haven, and investing in your relationship. Delay memory loss by getting exercise, learning new things, and taking up new hobbies. Midlife generativity is an opportunity to apply your unique set of skills and experience for the greater good. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe this channel for more videos.